What if I told you that Europe's future was decided in a single weekend? That while you were living your normal life, world leaders were making deals that could reshape everything you know about democracy, sovereignty, and power. This is that story. August 17th, 2025. A day that will be remembered as either Europe's finest hour or its greatest surrender. While most of the world slept, Donald Trump emerged from his Alaska summit with Vladimir Putin with a completely different tune. Gone was talk of ceasefires. In its place, immediate peace negotiations. But here's what Trump didn't tell you about that handshake in Alaska. Sources close to the Kremlin reveal what Putin actually offered Trump in that frozen Alaskan meeting room. Russia would give back tiny pockets of occupied Ukrainian land, villages barely big enough for a gas station. In exchange, Ukraine would surrender the entire industrial heartland of Donbass. We're talking about a region the size of Switzerland, with coal mines, steel plants, and millions of people who've been living under siege for 3 years. But Putin's masterstroke wasn't the land grab, it was the timeline. No ceasefire, straight to negotiations. Why? Because every day Ukraine negotiates is another day Russia can bomb hospitals, schools, and power plants. Imagine being Volodymyr Zelenskyy right now. 3 years ago, you were a comedian making people laugh. Today, you hold the fate of European democracy in your hands. Trump is pressuring you to take a deal that would legitimize Putin's conquest. Your own people are dying by the thousands. European allies are watching to see if their continent still means anything, and you have less than 24 hours to prepare for the most important meeting of the 21st century. His last trip to the White House in February was a disaster. Trump and J.D. Vance publicly humiliated him, calling him ungrateful. This time, he's not going alone. Within hours of Trump's Alaska announcement, European capitals lit up like Christmas trees. Emergency calls, cancelled vacations, private jets scrambling across the continent. This wasn't just diplomacy, this was panic. Because European leaders realized something terrifying. America might abandon them. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz cancelled his weekend plans. Emmanuel Macron cut short his August break. Even Italy's Giorgia Meloni, who admires Trump, rushed back from vacation. When was the last time you saw European leaders drop everything this fast? Never. Ursula von der Leyen didn't mince words in Brussels. Ukraine must become a steel porcupine, indigestible to potential invaders. But what does that actually mean? It means Europe is preparing for a world where America can't be trusted, where NATO Article 5 might be just paper, where European nations need their own defense pact. This isn't just about Ukraine anymore. This is about whether European democracy survives the next decade. Donald Trump thinks he's playing 4D chess, but he might have just walked into Putin's trap. By abandoning the ceasefire-first approach, Trump gave Putin exactly what he wanted: legitimacy. Now Putin isn't just a war criminal bombing civilians, he's a negotiating partner at the table with the President of the United States. But Trump's betting that his business instincts can solve a war that's killed over 1 million people. He sees Ukraine as a failing company that needs to cut its losses. The problem? Nations aren't businesses, and territorial sovereignty isn't a stock price. While everyone focuses on Ukraine, Putin's playing for something much bigger. He spent 2 decades studying American politics, learning exactly how to divide Western allies. The Alaska meeting wasn't about land, it was about proving that American security guarantees are worthless. Think about it. Ukraine gave up nuclear weapons in 1994 because America promised to protect them. How did that work out? Now Putin's offering the same worthless guarantees, wrapped in fancy diplomatic language. He's not just conquering territory, he's conquering the idea that international law matters. Behind closed doors, European intelligence agencies are calling this the worst crisis since World War II. Not because of the fighting in Ukraine, but because America just signaled that it's willing to sell out allies for political convenience. If Trump can abandon Ukraine after 3 years of promises, what's stopping him from abandoning Poland, Estonia, anyone? European defense spending is about to skyrocket, not because they want to, but because they have to. American protection just became unreliable, and Putin's watching every reaction, calculating his next move. But Volodymyr Zelenskyy isn't just a comedian turned president. He's a master performer who understands audiences. His decision to bring European leaders to Washington isn't just diplomacy, it's theater. He's forcing Trump to choose, side with Putin or stand with democracy. By making this meeting public, Zelenskyy turned private negotiations into a global stage. Now Trump can't just cut a deal in secret, he has to explain his choices to the entire democratic world. It's the performance of Zelenskyy's lifetime, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Zelenskyy's last White House visit was a masterclass in humiliation. Trump and J.D. Vance treated him like a beggar asking for handouts, publicly dressing him down for being ungrateful and disrespectful. The footage went viral worldwide, not because it was funny, but because it showed how far American leadership had fallen. Monday's White House meeting won't just determine Ukraine's fate. It will define what the world looks like for the next generation. Will we live in a world where dictators can negotiate away democracy, where territorial conquest becomes acceptable if you kill enough people first, where America abandons allies whenever it's politically convenient? Or will we see the birth of a new European alliance, strong enough to stand up to both Russian aggression and American abandonment? The answer depends on what happens when Zelenskyy walks into that Oval Office, not alone this time, but backed by the democratic will of 500 million Europeans who refuse to let their continent become Putin's playground. This is Europe's last stand, and we're about to find out what it's made of. What do you think? Will Europe finally break free from American foreign policy? Can Ukraine survive being negotiated by people who've never heard a Russian missile? Let me know in the comments below and subscribe for the latest updates on this historic moment.